How's it going, everybody? This is Darren Hall, and I'm bringing you the Cat 5 race from the Nutmeg Criterium put on by ShopRite. Right off the bat, I have trouble clipping in to my pedal, and I get put right at the back of the pack, and then just have to find my way to the group. And the good thing is they weren't going too fast right in the beginning, so it wasn't a big deal. So the reason why I did the Cat 5 race, I actually downgraded from Cat 4 to Cat 5, was a couple reasons. One, because I wanted to race the earliest race because I have a family and I like to spend time with them, and so I like to get my racing done out of the way in the morning, and I can spend the rest of the day with them. Second reason was I told my girl that I would win a medal for her. She really wanted me to bring her home a medal, and I thought, well, if I downgrade a category, I probably could bring her home at least one of the three medals: gold, silver, or bronze. And so that was why I downgraded, and those were the two reasons. So there's a really cool story also of going to this Criterium. I left my wheels at the wheel pit, and I didn't realize it till I got home. And this good human named Raymond, he, not even a racer, not even a spectator, he was just wandering there in the park and realized that somebody had left their bag. It was pretty late, I think, that day, and he looked in the bag and he realized that there were pretty expensive wheels in there. So he took them and he found the promoter and was able to leave, or he found somebody from ShopRite and left his number. They put it up, and I contacted the promoter, Laura Summers, who's a really good human as well, and she gave me the contact number for ShopRite, and they gave me his number, and he met me there at the park and gave me back the wheels. And he said when he looked in there, he knew somebody was going to be wanting these, and so he did some research. He went online, he found that this was called the Nutmeg Criterium Games. He didn't even know that, and he found this person and just did his due diligence to try to do what was right, and met me at the park, and I was like 20 minutes late, and he was still there. He was just a good human, and I tried to offer him something for, his time and trouble, and he said, no, he believes that you got to do the right thing, and that it'll come back to you, and I just thought that was the coolest thing ever, and so it really helps me, motivates me to want to pay it forward and, go out of my way to help somebody when they need it. So I just thought that was really cool. So some things that I did to prep for this race were things that I always do when I have a hard ride. I'll eat a lot of carbohydrates 3 hours beforehand. So I used to eat oatmeal. Now I try to eat things with less fiber, with more carbs, like malto meal or cream of wheat, and that seems to really work well for me. And also I'll take like 400 milligrams of caffeine 1 hour beforehand. Makes a big difference on reducing RPE. Sometimes if the race is really hot, I'll also take Tylenol, 1,000 milligrams about 45 minutes before, just to decrease the core temperature. And then I'll take some sugar in about 15 minutes beforehand. Those are generally the key things that I do that I've noticed that really help me perform well. Just going through this course, it was pretty flat. This was an uphill section right here, but not too much. It was probably like 2, maybe 3%. and then it tops off and goes down. Pretty mellow. There were no sharp corners in this race, and generally speaking, I would say pretty fast. It just allows people to basically, you could probably attack from wherever you want here. The road's pretty wide, and it stays wide for most of it. You do have to watch out for that yellow line on the left. You can't cross it because there are pedestrians that walk there, and if you cross it, they're going to disqualify you. They even had people watching like all the way around the course, which was great. You don't want to be running into anybody. So this whole race, I just was itching. I was just itching to attack. I looked at how fast we were going, and I had on my Garmin head unit the miles per hour average, and then right below it I would have my miles per hour average. And I noticed that we were going probably around 23 miles an hour, and I just thought, oh man, I know I can go faster than this, just by myself, probably for a good while, at least 20-30 minutes. And so I'm just waiting for my chance to attack here, waiting for somebody to attack, for it to get fast, and then wait till it slows up, and then I was going to counterattack. But it just seemed like nobody ever really threw in a really hard attack, so I'm just kind of waiting, just, I'm all caffeinated up, I'm, got my nutrition in, and just ready to go. And I just felt like nobody was really taking the bull by the horns and making this race really hard. So I just had to be patient, because there's no way I'm gonna just go right off the front and then, people chase you down, and then you don't have a good sprint at the end because you wasted a lot of energy. And so I didn't want that to happen. I wanted somebody to work a little bit, and people who usually work, they're generally the stronger riders, generally speaking, at least like in the lower categories, because they actually have the strength to do it. And so, and also the race nerves, you want to get out there, you want to race, you want to have a good time. You didn't come all that way just to, sit in the back, kind of like I'm doing right now. I know my race is about to get really hard. So I'm just kind of waiting. And I think for the first half of this race, I averaged about 219 watts. We were going about 23 miles an hour, and that was for, I don't know, like the first 18 minutes or so. And then for the second half of the race, I put in an attack, and I think that attack was was pretty good. I think it was around 460 watts for about 1 minute and 20 seconds, and then just settled into high threshold of like 310 for, oh gosh, it seemed like an eternity, but I think it was for like around 18 minutes, 17 minutes, something like that. And then I just, at the end, sprinted for giggles just to see if I could do it. So right now, nothing's really happening. I'm just sort of waiting for somebody to go to the front. I'm hoping somebody will, just kind of let me get up to, I don't know, the top 5 positions, because I knew that in this race I just really wanted to try to attack in a kind of a sneaky way. I wasn't going to stand, I wasn't going to make, big explosive effort there. I was gonna just kind of hang on the front 5 wheels and then wait for it to be kind of strung out, single file, and then as soon as it slowed up, I was gonna kind of just keep going and put in an effort and hope that nobody would follow me. And usually, if you do it early enough, people aren't expecting it, or they don't think that you're going to be able to stay off the front, because generally speaking, it's really hard to do. It takes a heck of a lot more energy to be out there solo than it does back in the group because of the wind resistance. I mean, you're fighting that wind, and it just takes a lot of strength. So it was funny because one of the things that I did before the race started, I asked the question. I said, "Hey, what? When you see lap 0, does that mean there's one more lap?" And the director, he's like, "No." He's like, "When you see 0, that means the race is over." And so I looked really stupid. I looked like I didn't know what I was talking about, which I didn't. I mean, I didn't know that. And so it was great though, because everybody's like, "Oh, that guy, he's so new, he doesn't even know how to lap count." And so I don't think anybody was expecting me to go off the front, especially since I was like mostly in the back, and then slowly worked my way up. So it definitely worked in my favor. I don't know, for the future, it might be something you want to try. If people don't know, you just ask a stupid question in the beginning, and then they'll think, "Oh, that guy doesn't know what he's doing." They won't follow you. So, okay, things are starting to get a little faster here, which I'm loving. Like, this is what I've been waiting for. I want to see it strung out, and I want to get close to the front, which is what I'm trying to do right now. And so, yes, look at this. It's going. I'm just loving this. And right on this guy's wheel. Oh, this guy, I think his name's Christopher Rinaldi. I looked up everybody on Strava, and then I also looked them up just on Google and typed in cycling after their name, just so I could see what races they've done, see what places they've placed, just to try to get an idea of who the strong riders were and what their FTPs were, to see if I would even have a chance of going off by myself, because I've always wanted to do that, to break off early and just stay out in front. Much preferred over the sprinting. I mean, even though my sprint, I can get it up to, I think, high 1300s, I weigh like 190 something pounds, and it's just really hard for me to beat people in the sprint. So I just thought, maybe an early breakaway, I think that increases my chances of winning. And especially, I've been cycling for, I don't know, close to 10 years now, and just building my FTP. And so it's not super high, but in this race it was probably around 310 or so. And I think that's it, based on how fast we were going, I just thought, I can probably go a little bit faster. So if I can get off the front, then I'm pretty sure I can stay away. So, that's going through my mind this whole time, and it's always also kind of scary to do, because you're going to be out there suffering for a long time, and you just don't want to get caught, because if you get caught, you've wasted so much energy, and that you're not gonna do well at the end. And so what motivated me was, thinking about my daughter, and I know she really wants me to win a medal, really wants me to bring her home that medal. She likes shiny things. So that was just going through my mind the whole time, and any fear that I had of like suffering or whatnot, that just like squashed it. My motivation was so high to do well, that I was just willing to take that risk and get out there and do the best that I could. I think that's one of the hardest things is, we're not necessarily afraid to lose, but we're afraid to succeed. We're afraid that if we get out there and try our hardest and then don't succeed, that somehow, we're not good enough. Whereas if we don't try, we can always say to ourselves, oh, well, I didn't try my hardest. And so next time, I could have done better. I didn't want to say that. I wanted to get out there and just say, hey, if I didn't win her a medal, I could say, honey, I tried my hardest. I really did. Next time I'll just work harder and I'll try to get you one. So it's good. Motivation's high and things are looking good now. I'm third wheel here. I should be a little bit closer, but to be honest, I've done most of my training indoors on Trainer Road, and which has been great for me because there's no distractions. You're not having to worry about traffic. You can just get on your trainer. If you have a problem, you can just get off and you're right there at home. You don't have to worry about getting a flat or anything like that. It's super productive training. But the problem with doing most of your training indoors is you don't have good bike handling skills. And so I wasn't super confident in my bike handling skills, and so I wasn't following people's wheels. I should be on this guy Christopher's wheel a lot closer. I should be right on it. You save a lot more energy doing it that way. But crashing is, the worst, and I was gonna go a lot slower if I stayed on his wheel but then crashed. So I was just kind of giving myself a little bit of a buffer, maybe too much. But it is what it is, and I wasn't struggling too hard here. So I just thought, okay, this looks like it. I'm thinking about right now. I'm thinking we've been single file here for a while, and when this slows up, I didn't have a specific landmark or place on the course that I thought I was going to attack. I just thought, as soon as we're strung out single file for a while and then it starts to slow up, I'm just going to keep going. And I'm not going to make a big deal out of it. I'm going to try to be, make it a slow acceleration seated, and then keep ramping it up. And so this guy's been on the front for a while now, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, things are going to start to slow up. And so sure enough, I think it's coming up around here. Things start slowing up, and I'm like, nope, I'm gonna keep going. So I get off to the left a little bit, and I just sort of ramp it up here. And there's one guy in the back here. I think his name's Joe from Gambit Cycling, right there. He sees, and I can tell he knows, and he starts putting in an effort to get up front. But nobody wants to sacrifice their race and chase me down, because if they do, they're gonna expend a lot of energy, and then they may not have a good sprint at the end. So I was grateful that nobody tried to really form an alliance and take turns chasing me down, because they definitely could have caught me if they wanted to. But everyone just sort of looks at everybody else and says, oh, you attack. And so that effort, I think, was like 460 watts for a minute and 20. And it took me up to like 27 miles an hour, enough to get good separation. And now I just know that I need to settle in now. And so I was looking down at my power meter a little bit, and I was trying not to go above 330, because I know I can't sustain that. And I'm hurting already. I'm starting to hurt, and just thinking to myself, okay, this is great. I've got a gap now. This is exciting. But you never know what the group is going to do to, try to bring you back. And so I'm, digging within myself to go as hard as I can, but at the same time, just try to pace it. So you can tell I'm looking down at my power meter, just trying not to go above 330. And then I look at the lap counter right here, and it says 8. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I'm already hurting. Like, I have to do this for 8 more laps. But of course, I think about my daughter, and I'm like, I'm gonna put my head down. I'm gonna suffer. And I suffered.
One eternity later.
All right, so now we're coming up on the final lap here, and I pretty much know I've got it in the bag. So I looked, you can see I'm looking to the left here, and I'm looking at a bench and seeing how far they are from the bench, and I just kept getting further and further. You're doing great. And that was good. They were saying my name, encouraging me, saying, go Darren. That felt good. So I knew I had it right here, and I think I kind of just let off the gas a little bit on this last lap. But just to look in hindsight, the first part of the race, I was going 23 miles an hour and only doing about 220 watts. And then the second part of the race, when I broke off and I was by myself, it took me 90 more watts to go 1 mile an hour faster. And that's just a ton of work just to go, a little bit faster. But it worked. It wouldn't have worked in the next race because they were going 24.5 miles an hour, averaging that. So had I broken away, I wouldn't have stayed away. They would have caught me. So it's just good to know what you can do. If you can go pre-ride a course and just see what you can average around it, and they can give you an idea of whether or not, if you look at your miles per hour, whether or not you can go faster than the group. And so you can get an idea of if it'll work or not. But I'm glad it did work. And so coming up towards the end here, I just thought, why don't I try to just give it one last effort. Let's see if I can, how much power I can produce, doing a one last sprint. So I sort of, let off the gas to try to give myself a chance to recuperate just a little bit, probably bring it down to like 200 or so watts, and then start ramping it up. But at this point I was just really, really happy that everything had worked out. I think, more than anything, more than winning, just having a good race, just having a race plan and executing on that plan and having it work was really thrilling. That never happens. Usually things don't go according to plan, and so it was really nice. And so right here I'm just trying to give it the berries and took home the gold for my girl, so that felt really good. When I got home and showed my wife the footage, she was pretty stoked too, which was awesome. Got some extra kisses because she's actually, I'm 15 years older than my wife, and so, I'm always trying to do things to impress her. You got to. And so, it worked. So, it can be good for your marriage. It can be good as being a father. You can bring your girls home a medal or a shirt. They love that. We've tried to have them come out to bike races before, but really they're just so boring to watch generally for people, especially people that don't cycle. So I had them come out a couple times and we tried it, but I don't expect them to come out anymore. But I do like, bringing them home some good news, and if they can watch the footage and get excited for, vicariously through me, I think that's a win-win. Keeps me in shape too, and Criterium racing is really fun because it's less than an hour, and you can do the races early in the morning. You can get a good workout, you can have a lot of fun, and then you can go spend the rest of the day with your family. And just really motivates me to train every day because I want to do well when I get out there and race. And so it's been a formula that's been working for me. I'm like 45 years old, so that's another thing. This was cool because this was a race where any age, you're racing against 18-year-olds as well, so that feels good as well. So I highly recommend it to people to get into cycling, get into something that excites you and pushes you to exercise every day. Yeah, it's been great for me. You just got to try to avoid crashing. So I don't know. My goal is to try to just get out there more this summer and do more outdoor rides. Maybe work on my sprint a little bit. Who knows? Maybe one day I'll be able to bring you guys a video where I actually win in a sprint. I'm gonna have to be smart about it though, because I don't think just I'll be able to overpower people, especially with my weight. I gotta bring that down too. So it's all good things. And you'll see at the end here, I just go up and talk to this guy, one of the announcers, and I think one of the things that I've been doing well is eating 2 cups of fruit and 3 cups of vegetables a day. It was a challenge that I had at work, and I did it for a month, and now I just find myself wanting to buy more vegetables and whatnot and fruit.
Way to go, Darren. Nice work.
Thank you.
Try it. All right, everybody.
So Darren, I see
Thanks for watching.
Navy team
I'll see you
there.
next
Are
time.
you currently employed by our wonderful United States Navy?
Yes, sir. Active duty. Yep.
So you're active duty. I was guessing you're working on, or you're wind trainer on top of an aircraft carrier, or are you flying an aircraft and making the guys go on oxygen so you can raise your hematocrit?
Basically, I'm the doc there, so I keep the guys flying and try to keep them healthy and try to be a good example.
Oh, excellent. How long have you been in the service?
10 years.
10 years. Congratulations. That's an awesome job. I'm sure you're making a career of it then.
Absolutely.
All right. Very good. Where are you stationed?
At Groton, Connecticut, at the sub base.
Working with the elite, the submariners. All right. Yeah, that's other than the guys in the airplanes. Those are the 2 top spots in the United States Navy, aren't they?
That's right.
Okay, well, actually, you did a great job out there. I'm pretty sure these guys are never going to let you go on a time trial again, but awesome work, and congratulations on your win.
Hey, thanks so much. If I could give one piece of advice to everybody, it's eat 2 cups of fruit and 3 cups of vegetables a day. Doesn't matter what else you do.
Hey, you got it from the doctor.
That's right.
All right, thanks, Doc.
All right.
Hey, congratulations on your win, and thank you for your service with the U.S. Navy.
My honor.
All right.